Hello students, welcome to my channel. Today I am here to teach you chemical reactions and equations, which is your first chapter of class 10 Cbse from your NCERT book. So let us begin with it. Types of chemical reactions. So when chemical reaction takes place, we have to keep in mind there are different types of chemical reactions. So in this class we will study about different types of chemical reactions. So let us begin with it. We have learnt in a class 9 that during a chemical reaction, atoms of one element do not change into those of another atom element, nor do atoms disappear from the mixture or appear from elsewhere. Actually, chemical reaction involves the breaking and making of the bonds between the atoms to produce new substances. You will study about types of bonds formed between the atoms in chapter 3 and 4. So in your previous class, that is in your 9th standard, that we have studied about law of conservation of mass, and even in my previous video we have gone through the law of conservation of mass, where when a chemical reaction will be taking place, what happens, the number of atoms will not break to form a new atom, but what happens here, the bonds between the atoms will break and form new bonds, and that will form new elements. So in this, by the bond formation, you will be studying in detail in your chapter 3 and 4, but in today's class we will study about types of chemical reactions. First one is a combination reaction. So let us do an activity to understand about a combination reaction. Take a small amount of calcium oxide or quicklime in a beaker. So in a beaker you have to take calcium oxide or quicklime. Then slowly add water to this. Touch the beaker as shown in the figure. So here you can see a figure. Formation of salt lime by the reaction of calcium oxide with water. So we have to put a piece of calcium oxide and then pour water to a beaker and then touch the beaker. Do you feel any change in the temperature? So whenever you touch the beaker, when you add calcium oxide with water, what happens? Calcium oxide reacts vigorously with water to produce salt lime, that is calcium hydroxide, releasing a large amount of heat. So whenever you touch the beaker, it becomes hot. So what happens there? So the calcium oxide and water reacting, they will form the salt lime, that is nothing but calcium hydroxide. In this reaction, calcium oxide and water will combine to form a single product, that is calcium hydroxide, and gives out heat. Such a reaction in which a single product is formed from two or more reactants is known as combination reaction. So you can see here on the LHS side, that is the reactant side, you will find calcium oxide and hydrogen. So when there is a combination of more than two, that is more than one reactant, and forming only one product, here you can see calcium hydroxide is formed, that is salt lime. So these type of reactions where two or more reactants will react to form only one product, such reactions are called as combination reactions. A solution of salt lime produced by the reaction is used for whitewashing your walls. So the whitewash which is used, that is nothing but the salt lime. Calcium hydroxide reacts slowly with carbon dioxide in the air to form a thin layer of calcium carbonate on the walls. Calcium carbonate is formed after 2 to 3 days of whitewash and gives a shiny finish to the walls. It is interesting to note the chemical formula for the marble is also CaCO3. So whenever you do whitewash at your home, so that is nothing but the salt lime, that is the calcium hydroxide. So this calcium hydroxide slowly reacts with the carbon dioxide which is present in the surrounding, and that will form a calcium carbonate. So this calcium carbonate will give a shiny layer on the wall, and the formula for that is CaCO3. So you can see here the reaction, how calcium hydroxide reacting with carbon dioxide present in the air to form calcium carbonate plus water. Let us discuss some more example of combination reaction. So let us see more. So we have studied about the formation of alkaline, that was one example. Let us go to the other examples. Burning of coal, carbon reacting with oxygen to form carbon dioxide. Here also you can see two reactants giving rise to one product. So this is a combination reaction. Formation of water from H2 and O2 gas. So you can see here 2H2O, 2H2 plus O2 gives 2H2O. In simple language, we can say that when two or more substances, elements or compound come to form a single product, the reactions are called as combination reaction. Yes, as I told you, when two or more reactants come together and they form a single product, those reactions are called as combination reactions. In activity 1.4, we also observed that a large amount of heat is evolved. This makes the reaction mixture warm. Reactions in which heat is released along with the formation of products are called as exothermic chemical reactions. So you also keep in the mind, where salt lime is formed, we also saw that the beaker becomes hot with the evolution of the heat. So this evolution of the heat, wherever this heat is produced, when a chemical reaction is take place, those type of reactions are also called as exothermic reaction. Other examples of exothermic reactions are burning of natural gas. So you can see here CH4 plus methane plus oxygen forms carbon dioxide plus water. Do you know that respiration is an exothermic process? We all know that we need energy to stay alive. We get this energy from the food we eat. During digestion, food is broken down into simple substances. For example, rice, potatoes and bread contain carbohydrate. These carbohydrates are broken down to form glucose. This glucose combines with oxygen in the cells of our body and provides energy. The special name of this reaction is respiration, the process of which you will study in chapter 6. So whatever the food you eat, okay, so whatever the food which you eat and the air which you respire combine together in the cells of your body, and that will give energy for your body. So this is the process of respiration. So these two are nothing but a example of exothermic reaction. The decomposition of vegetable matter into a compost is an example of an exothermic reaction. So wherever the waste vegetable matter that is converted into compost, that is an example of exothermic reaction, that is evolution of heat after the reaction taking place. So identify the type of reaction taking place in activity 1.1, where heat is given out along with the formation of single product. So it is both a exothermic reaction and also a combination reaction. So the next type which we will study, that is decomposition reaction. Take about 2 grams of ferrous sulfate crystals into a dry boiling tube. Note the color of the ferrous sulfate crystals. Heat the boiling tube over the flame of a burner or spirit lamp as shown in the figure. Observe the color of crystals after heating. So you can see a girl doing an experiment here, holding a test tube with the boiling tube in which you will have ferrous sulfate crystals. So she is burning that using a burner. And be careful, the mouth of the boiling tube should never face your mouth or your face. So you will find a wafting gas gently towards your nose. So you can see some gases appearing out when you heat the ferrous sulfate. Have you noticed that the green color of the ferrous sulfate crystals has changed? You can also smell the characteristic odor of burning sulfur. So you can see here the green color will change, and that will change into what color? Let us see. Ferrous sulfate plus heat gives Fe2O3 plus SO2 plus SO3. In this reaction, you can see that a single reactant break down to give simpler products. So there we saw two or more reactant giving rise to one single product. Here one single reactant will break to form many products. This is a decomposition reaction. Ferrous sulfate crystal lose water when heated and the color of crystal changes. It then decomposes to ferric oxide, sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. Ferric oxide is a solid. Sulfur oxide and sulfur dioxide are liquids. So this is an example of a decomposition reaction. So keep in your mind, combination reaction, two or more reactants will form a single product, but in decomposition reaction, one single reactant will break down to form two or more products. Decomposition of calcium carbonate to calcium oxide and carbon dioxide on heating is an important decomposition reaction used in various industries. So calcium carbonate will form calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Calcium oxide is called lime or quicklime. It has many uses. One is the manufacture of cement. When decomposition reaction is carried out by heating, it is called thermal decomposition. So this is used in many industries, this decomposition reaction. So where the limestone, that is quicklime, when given heat, that will form calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. So this is also called as thermal. Whenever you give heat to break that reactant to form two or more products, that is called as thermal decomposition reaction. Another example for this, let us see. Take about 2 grams of lead nitrate powder in a boiling tube. Hold similarly, when you took ferrous sulfate, here you have to take lead nitrate. So what happens? Let us see. You will observe the emission of brown fumes. These fumes of nitrogen dioxide. The reaction that takes place is, you can see here, lead nitrate. When you give heat, that will form lead oxide plus nitrogen dioxide plus oxygen. So you can see here 3 products from one reactant. So when you give heat, this is thermal decomposition reaction, which will form lead nitrate get decomposed to lead oxide, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. So one more activity. Take a plastic mug, drill 2 holes at its base and fit 2 rubber stoppers in these holes. Insert carbon electrodes in these rubber stoppers as shown in the figure. You can see here in the figure as it is done. A rubber stopper filled with water and test tubes on the back, and you will have a graphite rod. So do a similar setup. Fill the mug with water such that the electrodes are immersed. Add a few drops of dilute sulfuric acid to the water. Take 2 test tubes filled with water and invert them on the 2 cathode electrodes. Switch on the current and leave the apparatus undisturbed for some time. You will observe formation of bubbles at both the cathodes in the test tube. These bubbles displaces water in the test tubes. Is the volume of the gas collected the same in both the test tube? Once the test tubes are filled with the respective gases, remove them carefully. Test these gases one by one by bringing a burning candle close to it. This step must be performed carefully by the teacher. What happens in each case? Which gas is present in each test tube? So we have to check them. So in my next class I will be telling you the result of the observation. In this class only we will study about that. Take 2 grams of silver chloride in a china dish. What is the color? Place the china dish in the sunlight for some time. Observe the color of the silver chloride after some time. So the color changes. So why this happens? You will see that white silver chloride turns into gray in sunlight. This is due to decomposition of the silver. So when AgCl get some heat, that will form Ag plus Cl2. So here one reactant and 2 products are formed. That is an example of decomposition reaction. Silver bromide also behaves in the same way. That is, whenever silver bromide is kept in the sunlight, that will form silver plus bromide. The above reactions are used in black and white photography. So this silver bromide reaction and the other silver chloride reaction, these reactions will be used in the photography. What form of energy is causing these decomposition reaction? We have seen the decomposition require energy either in the form of heat, light or electricity for breaking down reactants. Reactions in which energy is absorbed is known as endothermic reactions. So there we saw in the combination reaction, heat is given out. Here heat is taken up by the reactant. So this type of reactions are called as endothermic reaction. The evolution of heat is called as exothermic reaction. So in this we have studied 4 different types of reactions, that is combination reaction, decomposition reaction. So in the combination reaction, heat is evolved out, so that is a exothermic reaction, and in the decomposition reaction, heat is taken up, that is absorbed, that is a endothermic reaction. So this was about today's class. So thank you for watching this video. So in my next video I will be solving some exercise question and the worksheet. So please stay connected. Thank you.